Hello and welcome back to the All Things Leeds podcast. This is episode 81 of the All Things Leeds podcast. I'm NkGhTg, and joining me, as always, remotely, of course, is Charles Foster. Charles, hello.
Hi, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
It feels like we just recorded the last one of these about 20 minutes ago, but I know it was about 3 days ago.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, each day is just going so fast at the moment. But no, have you had a good week?
Yeah, it's been a bit busy work-wise, but you know the result on Wednesday helps, and in fact we've got off game tomorrow that helps as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm finished for Christmas now from work, so I'm happy.
Nice. We will, of course, be recording another podcast again before Christmas, so that we'll leave a Christmas special until then. But no, it's amazing what a win, a Leeds United win, can do for your state of mind. I've been buzzing this week after Wednesday night, and in this episode, we will, of course, be looking back on that that awesome 5-2 win over Newcastle United at Elland Road. We've got some news to dive into as well before we preview the big game this weekend, this Sunday, that sees Leeds United travel to Old Trafford to take on an old rival, Manchester United. An exciting show coming up here on the All Things Leeds podcast. So let's begin by analysing Leeds United's epic 5-2 victory over Newcastle United at Elland Road from Wednesday night. Our first home win over Newcastle for 21 years. And that was a 3-2 win on September 25th, 1999. Now, Charles, for me, I still think defensively we look a bit shaky, especially from set pieces. But overall, This was a much better performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think the Newcastle are a really bad team. They are poor. I thought they were pretty poor throughout. I just thought that we started a bit, scrappy, and we didn't really, our passes weren't connected. There wasn't the kind of fluidity, and then the chances we were getting, we were kind of been a bit wasteful with them, kind of reminiscent of a few games in the Championship over the last couple of seasons, really. But we grew into the first half, and I thought we just got better as the game went on, because I thought that other than that dodgy bit of defending for their first, I thought we were pretty good all game. Obviously the set pieces, we're going to go through them as well, but we did eventually score from two of their set pieces, so that did work out in the end. Yeah, I thought we got better as the game went on, and especially as they tied. But I thought they were a poor team, and I think we really just managed to dial it up in the second half, and they couldn't really cope with us.
Yeah, I felt as though it was a much better game from that West Ham performance. I feel as though we were on top for pretty much all of the game, I'd say, really. As you say, Newcastle, they do look a poor side. They've not got much quality there, especially when, Saint Maximin is out, injured. They don't have much quality going forward. And yeah, especially, tracking back for our late goals, tracking back, Newcastle just looked, really tired and just really lazy, to be honest. And yeah, Steve Bruce there as their manager and his negative dinosaur tactics. Yeah, I just don't think Newcastle are a good side. I totally agree with you. But no, Leeds United were great on Wednesday night. I really enjoyed it. I watched it all, and I still don't know what happened. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know how on earth that game finished 5-2.
It was just very weird, and yeah, I was trying to watch it on Amazon Prime, but the lag was. You'll know this because we have a group chat and we talk throughout the game, but the lag was irritating me to the point where I actually closed Amazon Prime down and went on a stream instead, because it was lagging less on the stream. It was a weird game. We were just watching it throughout. I didn't really know how it was going to end. The one I celebrated, the goal I celebrated the most was Stuart Dallas's goal, because that's the goal I felt won the game. Because I didn't think we'd throw it away again, although I think it was a one or two corners when we were 3-2 up where I was a little bit worried. But generally, I was 3-2 was the one that was the goal I thought, right, we've done this now.
Yeah, no, well, I didn't celebrate properly until that Jack Harrison goal, to be honest, when I knew that we were 3 goals ahead with 2 minutes of normal time to go. That's when I could relax, because being a Leeds United fan, we know anything can happen, don't we? Especially when you look back at that Cardiff game from last season, that still haunts me. So no, I wasn't relaxing until that Jack Harrison goal went in. But But no, when we started getting the third and fourth goal, it was, getting to that time where you're thinking, I think we've got this in the bag, really. But no, naturally, as you say, every time, we conceded a corner or set piece, you were quite nervous heading into that. But no, unchanged lineup from that 2-1 defeat to West Ham at home. Are we surprised to see it as an unchanged lineup?
Not really, because we know what Bielsa's like when it comes to keeping things fairly consistent in his lineups. Unless someone's injured or having a extremely bad run of form, then the team tends to stay as it is. I think we've seen that with Costa. He's had quite a bad run of form, so he's been kind of dropped out of the squad. And Bielsa confirmed in his press conference that Costa is even injured. He's just not in the squad.
That's interesting, isn't it? Helder Costa not involved in the 18-man squad at all, which I find really bizarre and interesting, to be honest. Yeah,
so we know what he's like with sticking to the team he knows, and I think as you mentioned before we started recording, he's a big fan of that Bamford, Rafinha, and Rodrigo kind of trio. I think they all link up really well, and I think they will cause a lot of damage if we give them the opportunities to. And if we keep solid enough at the back, which we'll get onto in a minute. But they the lineup, I wasn't surprised it stayed the same. Although I was a little bit surprised to see Struijk maybe not get any kind of hint of a start. You'd think he'd be coming in, but I know both him and Cooper are left-footed, and Bielsa likes left-footed centre halves on the left-hand side, right-footed centre halves on the right-hand side. And I thought, although Luke Ayling was extremely questionable from set pieces throughout the game, I thought when he was actually on the ball, I thought he was one of the better players in the team. I thought he was really good at driving forward, so I can understand why he's kept it the same there. I was not too surprised to see it unchanged. We know how Bielsa works, really. I agree with you. I feel as though it would have been nice to just see Struijk maybe get a chance, with the fact that we're so shaky at set pieces, but no, we're unchanged. And the right call. We were really good. I mean, as you say, though, slow start from Leeds United, really, but Newcastle really didn't do anything from our slow start. We grew into the game, started creating chances. Click had that really good opportunity, didn't he, on 17 minutes where the ball whizzed across the face of goal and it was inches away from just a tapping, but just missed the ball. But Newcastle did, of course, take the lead though on 26 minutes. Ryan Fraser on the left, crossing the ball into Callum Wilson, who flicked on the header to the back post to winning mark ghTg to tap it in. And I feel as though this was a really poor goal to concede here, Charles. It was poor closing down on, I think it was Jamal Lewis and Ryan Fraser. Poor marking on Callum Wilson and ghTg, who was unmarked, and Callum Wilson got a free header to flick the ball on. And overall, just a poor goal to concede, really. Yeah, there was a lot of things wrong with it. Click's not closing down Lewis fast enough when he's trying to make the cross. He's nowhere near him. He needs to be well within 3 yards. He was at least 3 yards away from him. You can't allow a striker who's in as good form as Callum Wilson to just drift in at the near post and become, it wasn't completely unmarked, but he was effectively unmarked because by the time he was getting to head it, there was no challenge for anybody. And Alioski's out of position because he should be covering the back post. There should be somebody there, but they're not. And it's a bad goal to concede because they hadn't really offered anything in that game up until that point, and they stole the ball in midfield and scored within about a minute, and it was just a bit of a kind of body blow. It was a little bit gutting, but we rectified it, so it's all right.
Yeah, we certainly did, but no, it was a poor and frustrating goal to concede, really, because at that point, we were creating a lot of chances. We were kind of a better team up to that point, but Newcastle just nicked a goal, and it was so easily avoidable, really. And you can definitely see the areas that need tying out. Close down quicker and just mark people. Just get on people. But a poor goal to concede. But as you say, we did rectify it. We scored the equaliser on 35 minutes. Click here sending the ball out to Rafinha on the right, who crossed it in with Rodrigo, headed the ball, it hit the post, and then Bamford was there to head in the rebound. Now it's easy finish for Bamford here, but it's great to see Bamford in the right place at the right time. And, if it was any other striker, people would be praising him, saying, oh, look at him in the right place at the right time. What a pivotal striker he is. But, I think at times last season, Bamford wouldn't have been in that position. So it's great to see him, there anticipating a rebound and, heading it home.
Yeah, when we talked about that trio earlier, it's a perfect cross from Rafinha to find Rodrigo. It's a really good flick on header to try and catch. Is it Dubravka? Yeah, Dubravka off his line. Because I think if you watch as Rodrigo goes up to head it, the keeper comes off his line and moves forward a couple of yards, which means he's got to track back much further, and that's why he doesn't quite manage to tip it over, which leads to the chance. And yeah, it's great being in the right place with Bamford and good reactions to make sure he gets there before either centre halves do. He's aware of the possibilities to score. So yeah, it was good. It was great. It's nice to see Bamford on like 9 goals already. I think he's like third. Is he joint third top scorer in the league?
No, well, he's joint 5th highest with Harry Kane, who's also got 9 goals this season. But 9 goals for Patrick Bamford so far this season after 13 games. It's insane, and all 9 of those goals as well have come from open play, more than any other Premier League player. He's just having a phenomenal season, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's kind of embraced it. I think he's just coming to the league with the points to prove, and I think he's really putting the chances away when he's getting them for the most part.
Yeah, he's found his level now as Patrick Bamford. The Championship was too easy for him, and now the Premier League is his level. He took it easy on the Championship. He took it easy on the Championship. He was like, it's for Championship, but I'll lay off a bit. I'll save it all for the Premier League, and he's found his level now. 9 goals this season. It's just. It's insane. And, it is surprising me because I thought Bamford was, when Rodrigo came in, I thought Bamford was out of the team. But no, he's keeping Rodrigo, Spanish number 9 striker. Bamford's keeping that number 9 shirt away from Rodrigo. Rodrigo's having self and number 10. It's amazing stuff from Bamford. It really, really isn't. Hopefully he keeps it up. He's got confidence. He's carrying momentum. And, just hopefully he keeps on scoring the goals. And I was saying as well while watching the game to my dad, it must be a big difference, having Rodrigo there. Rodrigo, the Spanish number 9, it's given Bamford a kick up the arse saying, look, if I want to start, I need to be at the top of my game. And then, seeing Rodrigo in training and, he must be learning a lot of stuff from him.
Well, yeah, maybe so. But I think that little bit more, just the way we've added the quality to the team and kind of enhance the whole, some of its parts. I think it really is helping Bamford. And I think he's kind of embraced how many more, kind of flick-ons and chances he can create, and he knows he can trust the 3 players behind him to find him, because they regularly do. As we were saying before we started recording, Jack Harrison wasn't having a particularly great game first half, but he's managing to link up really well with Rodrigo to put us 2-1 up later in the game. And it's great to he's got them 3 players of really high quality behind him that he knows will find him at some point.
Yeah, we have a really good attack now, and it's fantastic stuff to see. Bamford is now also the all-time top scoring player in Bielsa's managerial career with 35 goals, and that goal as well was scored in the 35th minute of the game, which is quite amazing. But no. Bamford he's having a phenomenal season, and hopefully he can keep it up. But of course, 1-1 at half-time. Leeds should have been well ahead with the chances we've created. 14 shots in that first half alone. We just weren't clinical enough. We could have easily been 5-1 ahead at half-time easily. But as I say, overall much better. Heading into the second half, Newcastle penalty shouts on the 55th minute for them. There was a VAR check on Liam Cooper's challenge on Wilson in the box. Kevin Friend, the video referee, said no penalty. Do you think that was the right call, Charles?
The problem is that the zoomed in angle of it, when they were trying to do the slow-mo, was from behind where the challenge was coming from, so you can't really see whether or not he gets the man or the ball first. Because I think he does get a good chunk of the ball, but I don't know whether he gets the man first or not. It's a questionable one. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd probably want that to be given. As I'm a Leeds fan, I'm biased. I don't want it to be given. Under the current rules, it probably should have been given.
Yeah.
But, we've had VAR calls go against us, and the Palace one comes to mind. So it is swings and roundabouts. You are going to get screwed over, and you are going to get a helping hand now and again. But yeah, you can't really tell from the angle what he gets first. I think he does. Yeah. He does get the ball, but whether or not he gets it first or second, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel as though we were quite fortunate that this wasn't a penalty. For me, I don't think Liam Cooper does get the ball. I just think he kicks Callum Wilson's leg. I think the reason why it wasn't given was because Callum Wilson was already going down. He wasn't in control of the ball. He had already lost the ball before Liam Cooper made contact. And I think that's the reason why it wasn't given. But, there's definitely contact there from Liam Cooper on Callum Wilson. And I think we were fortunate that it wasn't a penalty. But, as you say, swings and roundabouts, the 50-50 calls, really, they can go either way. I think if it was given against us, we can, kind of accept it. But, if we, as you say, if we were Newcastle fans, we'd be fuming at that. But of course, Leeds United took the lead on 61 minutes. Rodrigo spraying the ball out to Jack Harrison on the left. Fantastic first touch on the stretch from Jack Harrison. Good cross into Rodrigo, and Rodrigo heading home. Really good header from Rodrigo. And this was a really nice goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Rodrigo kind of pings it out to Harrison, but he hits it with, I think, a little bit too much force. But Harrison managed to bring it down like on the tip of his boot, which is a superb touch. And then it's a volleyed cross, and then a kind of diving Van Persie-esque at the World Cup kind of header, which they're always great to see them headers. To be fair, you don't see them as much. You don't see them very often. It was brilliant, and it was just diving header in the far corner, 2-1 up, and it was. I had hope again, and then it was shattered nearly immediately.
Pretty much immediately. Of course, Newcastle equalised on 66 minutes. 2 corners in a row. They scored from the second corner. Kieran Clark heading home here, jumping highest. And it just highlights again that we are poor from set pieces, and they still need working on.
Yeah, it came from the fact that we got a corner from Bamford forcing a save out of the Bravka. Philip, I think, tried a short corner, which, as I've said many times on this podcast, and to you personally, I absolutely despise short corners. I think they're pointless, and I think they don't work. Then he gives the ball away. They pretty much run the length of the pitch, and Wilson forces a really good save from Meslier, who palms it over the bar. First corner we kind of deal with, but we end up giving another one away, and the second one is just... It's just bad. It's Luke Ayling not challenging for a header. He can't be winning. He's winning the header from a decent way out as well. I don't think Meslier reacts quick enough from the corner either. I think it's kind of a comedy of errors, really. And it goes in, and it's a completely deserved, completely undeserved equaliser, I should say. In the post match, they were interviewing Ryan Fraser. I was watching it on the on Twitter, I think. And he was saying, "Oh yeah, we didn't deserve to lose that game 5-2." I was just thinking, and then Steve Bruce was going, "Oh yeah, we gave really poor goals away." It's like, did you see the goals that we gave away? How poor they were.
Yeah,
they didn't have to work hard for it.
I was really confused after the game. People saying up until the last 10 minutes, it was a Steve Bruce masterclass. It wasn't. They scored 2 goals because of errors from us, really. They scored a lucky goal. Their first goal was just poor errors from us. It came out from absolutely nowhere. Their second goal was just a set piece. We're poor at set pieces. They scored 2 goals because we're poor at, defending against those type of goals. There weren't anything special, and Newcastle were awful all night. I was so confused when people were saying that, up until the last 10 minutes, Newcastle were good. They weren't. We were miles the better team.
Newcastle will do what they always do, which is be awful and try and grab undeserved points, which they've done quite successfully recently. But not on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, I must have admitted when that equaliser went in, I was thinking we're going to drop 2 points here. Now this is it. We're poor from set pieces. It's going to cost us again. But no, luckily we did go ahead again on 77 minutes. Click here, floating a lovely ball into the box, finding Dallas, making a run unmarked, and he heading in the back of the net at the back post to make it 3-2. Lovely goal there. And then we saw Leeds United make their first substitution of the game on the 82nd minute. Rodrigo being replaced by Pablo Hernandez, and then after that soon followed Tyler Roberts being replacing, I should say, Patrick Bamford. And then the floodgates opened. Essentially, two quick counter-attacking goals. The first one coming on the 85th minute. A classic counter-attacking goal from Leeds. Phillips setting Rafinha away. He gives the ball to Hernandez on his right. He finds Alioski and he fires the ball into the roof of the net to make it 4-2. This was an awesome counter-attacking goal, Charles.
Yeah, just to deal with the third one first. The defending from Newcastle at the back post was even worse than ours. I mean, Stuart Dallas literally floats in on his own within about 5 yards of space all around him and just nods in at the back post. It's that shock. I'd be furious if we considered that goal. Even it is a good ball.
Well, we kind of did, really. Jeff Hendrick's goal here in this game, that he wasn't marked at the far post.
It wasn't complete. Alioski was at least within a few yards of him. Stuart Dallas was complete. There was no one anywhere near him. He just literally ran at the back post. I think it was Sean Lundstad supposed to be marking him, just left him completely. The fourth goal was good winning the ball by Phillips, and obviously gets up to Rafinha. And it is a great counter attack, but it's saw a lot of Newcastle fans moaning that they're defending for that goal. I was just like, well, first of all, we are the fittest team in the league, and we did run the length of the pitch in the 82nd or 83rd minute. We scored that goal, and so the fact that a Steve Bruce team can't keep up with us physically doesn't surprise me in the slightest. And when I saw them queuing up to take the shot, it was I think Click was offside, so he left it. But it was either Alioski or Harrison who were going to take the shot. Harrison was fuming that Alioski took the shot. You can see it when you watch if you watch the goal back. Watch Harrison; he's livid that Alioski takes the shot.
Yeah.
But I thought if we don't score from this position, it's just a joke. That'd be an absolute XG nightmare. It's like 5-on-2, completely unmarked, blast into the stand. It's the kind of thing we would do.
I mean, it's kind of thing Alioski would do. He seems to have no composure in front of goal, but no, good finish from Alioski here, and really pleasing to finish that move off, counter-attacking in the 85th minute, and from their corner as well. We defended their corner quite well, and then counter-attack from there, which is quite pleasing. That that's kind of rectifying the set piece problems, and hopefully that makes the players think, all right, if we defend from set pieces now properly, we can go ahead and score. So hopefully that happens a lot more often. Of course, happened later on in the game, but really good counter-attacking goal. I'm going to say 5 versus 2 in the 85th minute. Ridiculous having all these pundits saying Leeds United are looking tired. If we really were tired, Newcastle are lucky because it could have easily been 10 versus 2 then. 5v2 in the 85th minute. It's just incredible stuff from Leeds United. And then the other great counter-attacking goal came on the 88th minute. Again, from a Newcastle corner. Jack Harrison's played through by Pablo Hernandez. And Jack Harrison picks the ball up in his own half. Runs and finishes absolutely brilliantly from outside the box, finding the top right-hand corner of the net. It was a beautiful goal, Charles. Yeah,
it was great stuff, and obviously Hernandez releases him again, but he only releases him as far as the halfway line. He has to do the rest of the run himself, and it looks like he's got basically no support, and he's going to have to go on his own. I think he recognises that, and I think he was also him and Rafinha were both desperate to get a goal in the game. Rafinha was unlucky to not to get one in the first half particularly, but I think Harrison was thinking about the Alioski one, which he could have had, and saw his chance and thought, I'll give it a go from here. I think it was 30 yards he hit it in. It was an absolute beauty, right in the top, completely unsavable as well. I don't think there's a keeper that could have saved that one. Even some of the better keepers in the world, I don't think could have saved that one. But it was a beauty, and I'm pleased for him because I thought he was. Frankly, I thought he was poor in the first half. I thought he was, not really doing much, and I thought he was, a lot of the play was breaking down his side. He wasted a couple of good opportunities to square it, but he was much better in the second half. Got his assist, got his goal, and redeemed himself somewhat.
Yeah, redeemed himself for the poor performances over the past few weeks, really, and really pleasing to see Jack Harrison scoring here. Was this your favourite goal of the game? Is this your pick of a bunch?
No. I like the Rodrigo one. That's my favourite.
Yeah, quite nice build. It's a lovely strike, but yeah, I really like team goals, and that Rodrigo one, Rodrigo, whipping the ball at Jack Harrison, brilliant cross.
I'm a sucker for a diving. I'm a sucker for a diving header, to be honest.
Yeah,
they're always great.
Header. Yeah, plenty of headers in this game as well. I think there were 7 goals in this game. Newcastle's 2 goals were headers. Rodrigo header, Dallas header, Bamford header.
No. Jeff Hendrick's goal wasn't a header. He taps it in at the far post.
So 5 out of 7 goals? 4 out of 7 goals were headers.
Rodrigo, Bamford's, Kieran Clark's for Newcastle. I think it was just 3, I think.
And Dallas.
Oh, Dallas, yeah. 4, sorry. 4. Yeah.
So 4 out of 7 goals in this game were all headers. But no, really pleased to see Jack Harrison score. Yeah, I agree with you. Rodrigo one, I much prefer, but no, this was an absolute peach of a goal. Definitely goal of a season contender. And how instrumental as well was Pablo Hernandez when he came on, for the last 10 minutes. Comes on the 82nd minute and then assists 2 goals. He's still got it, hasn't he, Pablo Hernandez?
He's got it in them 10-minute bursts, and that's all we need him for. I have been pleased to see him because I think we've kind of missed his impact off the bench in recent weeks, and I think he is the perfect person to replace Rodrigo in a game when Rodrigo's tiring, or at a push he could probably replace Rafinha in a game or something like that, and they come on the wing. Although I think he'd be better off just replacing Rodrigo when he gets tired. But yeah, in the future, I would love to see him make more 10-15 minute cameos off the bench and punish a tired side.
Yeah, I thought he changed the game for us going forward, really, especially on those counter-attacks. So yeah, Leeds United returning to winning ways here. Our first home win over Newcastle for 21 years. Who was the man of the match for you in this game?
I know people are going to disagree with me with this, and I know you personally are going to disagree with me for this, but I honestly think Rafinha, I thought he was brilliant the whole game. I thought he was really good. I thought Rodrigo was brilliant as well. I think you're going with Bamford, aren't you? And I think Bamford was great as well. There was that at one point, I think, was it the 80th minute where Bamford's running back over the halfway line and slide tackles the ball into the stand. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? Well, and I think it was a Leeds throw-in as well. It was pretty much a perfect challenge, which is strange from a striker because normally they botch their challenges. But yeah, that was great. That was great stuff. But yeah, for me, Rafinha, I love. He's a great player to watch. We've not had he's what I hoped Helder Costa would be. That kind of properly exciting. Every time he touches the ball, you have no idea what's going to happen kind of player. So, and I thought he was in the first half, especially. I thought he was our best player.
Yeah, I thought Rafinha was really good in this game. I agree with you. I love watching Rafinha play. He's just an exciting player to watch, and him linking up well with Jack Harrison, Rodrigo, and Bamford. Yeah, it's just really, really good to see. Rafinha was in my man of the match poll on Twitter. I put out a poll after each Leeds United win, asking Leeds fans for their man of the match. And the 4 nominations were Patrick Bamford, Rodrigo, Jack Harrison, and Rafinha. Jack Harrison won the poll by a landslide, 40.6%. Patrick Bamford came in at second with 28.1%. Only 18.8% who voted for Rafinha agreed with you, and then 12.5% voted for Rodrigo. So yeah, Jack Harrison, definitely good. I think he kind of won that man of the match because of an assist and a thunderstrike, really. I think that's the reason why he's won that. But yeah, for me, Patrick Bamford, I thought Patrick Bamford was superb again. Patrick Bamford, I can't remember the last time Patrick Bamford had a really, really poor game. I can remember all, the missed chances that Patrick Bamford's missed and that he probably should have scored. But in terms of everything else that he does, I can't remember the last time Patrick Bamford had an awful game. I think he does his job superbly, and yeah, he may not get him a score sheet every single game, but no, I think Patrick Bamford, what he offers for team, I think is superb, and I'm so glad that he got his goal in this game to make it 9th of the season. I thought Patrick Bamford was really good, but no, going forward, it was just superb from Leeds United. Really, really good stuff. 5 different goal scorers. Great stuff. We just need to work on defending and defending at set pieces. But no, good win here. We leapfrogged Newcastle to move into 13th place in the Premier League table on goal difference. We now on 17 points, 8 points above the relegation zone. And I feel so much better after that. We can relax a bit now, for a while. That was just a much needed victory, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There was a bit of worry, especially after the West Ham game, where we played badly against a team that weren't great, and West Ham weren't great at all. We just allowed them to score 2 poor goals, and we were poor ourselves. But yeah, it alleviates a bit of the worries. Fundamentally, we can't forget that the job is to get to 40 points, and we're nearly halfway there. We're 1 win away from the halfway point. So we just need to pick up the wins where we can against the teams around us. So wins against Newcastle, they're great, but we do need to push on now. If we can get anything from tomorrow's game, I know we're going to discuss that shortly, and then I think that'll be a great result. Although I don't expect us to get beat, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got beat, given the amount of money that's rolling around in Scum's team. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if we were to get beat. But I think if we to get anything from that, that'd be a good result, and then we can move on, and we can of the kind of Christmas New Year period, we can pick up a few points. Then we'll be in a good position. I think, as we always say, there are definitely 3 worse teams in this league than us. Sheffield United are way worse. Honestly, West Brom now.
Sheffield United are on course to finish the season on 2.6 points.
Which would be brilliant. Which would absolutely smash Derby's record. To be fair, if you're going to break a record, break it by a mile. West Brom have just. We're going about negative dinosaur Steve Bruce. West Brom have just hired negative dinosaur extraordinaire Sam Allardyce. So I look forward to seeing what he's going to do with them. Burnley are probably going to be down there as well. They're pretty poor. There are teams in this league that are worse than us. There's definitely teams. I honestly think Newcastle are worse than us. I'm honestly amazed that they've managed to get 17 points at the same time. I think they've had slightly easier games than us, but even still, they were shocking.
Yeah, they really were. I completely agree. We are better than Newcastle. We beat them 5-2. We, of course, are better than Newcastle. But no, as I said last week, we're fine. We're fine. As I said in the last episode, we will be fine this season. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, hopefully we can build on. We, of course, move on to the Manchester United game away this Sunday. We'll preview that match later on in the show. Well, straight into the news now then, and the Premier League have voted against the introduction of 5 substitutions for the 3rd time. Leeds United are one of those clubs who voted against the introduction of 5 substitutions. Charles, what are your overall thoughts on all this?
I'm pleased. I am pleased because I think 5 substitutions benefits clubs with huge squads, and I don't think it's necessary. And I think the same Premier League teams that are whinging about having too many games should try playing 50 games in the Championship, 3 games a week. It's laughable, to be honest. I am pleased. Bielsa apparently guided Leeds' viewpoint on this. He basically said to the club, I want us to vote against it, because if you're allowed 5 subs, then fitness isn't as important a factor in the game, which it isn't really. If you can replace nearly half your team off your bench, then it's not. You don't really have to keep everybody in good shape, do you? So I'm pleased to get voted down. The 3 subs rules have existed for about 40 odd years at this point. I think since 3 clubs were allowed to make 3. Actually, in fact, no, that's not true. Actually, up until the 90s, you were only allowed 1 sub. So then it jumped to 3, and now they wanted to jump it up to 5. It makes no sense. It's just going to be abused by people who want to slow games down and bring players on and just drag things out.
Yeah, I mean, 3 subs is all I've known in football, and it's worked fine it's worked fine. There's no need to change it, in my opinion. And I agree with you. I think it's unfair if you make it 5 subs. I think it's unfair on the the lower league teams. Really, I think it's just a big advantage for the big clubs with plenty of strength and depth, because they can go and change almost half of their team in the late stage of a game to try and win it. So I do think it is probably unfair on some teams. If you don't have a strength and depth like us. And then I think it's a bit unfair on those teams. As you say, if it is, if it was 5 substitutions, then fitness is just not as important then. And Bielsa, as he mentioned, really does, really does value the fitness of players. And we see it. We are definitely the fittest team in the league. And the people who have been complaining, the likes of Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool and Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, saying that they've been wanting 5 subs. They weren't even using all 3 of their subs. Liverpool have just beaten Tottenham Hotspur. Go on.
Jurgen Klopp's been playing like his first Premier League starting 11 in meaningless, dead rubber European games where he doesn't need to win them. So, and then he's moaning about his players getting tired.
Those are games where you can just rotate players, and it's simple. It's fine, You can't play your first strongest 11 in every single game, and no one does that. We didn't feel our strongest side against Hull, in the cup early in the season. Rotation is just part of the game. Yeah, rotation is just part of the game. So just rotate players if you think that's desired. It's simple as that. But Klopp and Pep, they weren't making all 3 their substitutions in games anyway. And Liverpool have just beaten Tottenham Hotspur 2-1 to go to the top of the league. And they used no subs in that game. So their argument has nothing to it. They've got no proof as to say, why 5 substitutions need to be put in place. There's no argument for it, really.
They're not even using the subs they've got.
Yeah.
Why do you too long?
Yeah, they're saying all about, the fixture congestion, but fixtures have always been congested like this, especially around Christmas time. And, the TV companies want the big games on TV, and it's been like that all the time. You just accept it and move on. There's no need really to make it 5 subs. And I'm really glad that the Premier League has voted against it. I think it takes the piss really with 5 subs, to be honest. Now, despite voting against the introduction of 5 substitutions, Premier League clubs have voted to introduce permanent concussion substitutions with a maximum of 2 per team in each match. So the new rule means that permanent substitutions can be made if a player suffers a head injury, even if all replacements have been used. And to avoid potential abuse of the rules, so say, faking a head injury just to make a sub, opposition teams will be able to make a change at the same time. So that kind of makes you not want to fake a head injury to try get a 4th or 5th substitution. The Premier League has said that it hopes to start the permanent concussion substitution trials from January. And I quite chuckled at that line in the article, to be honest, because it kind of makes it seem like the Premier League's hoping for some head injuries in January.
But also, why are they changing rules mid-season? I know it's an important rule because it's head injuries and it is concussions, and it is important because I think Jan Vertonghen's just done an article recently where he said he suffered from the effects of a concussion he received for months afterwards, and he couldn't play properly, especially as a centre half. And it was only that basically, football ending the lockdown, which allowed him to recover properly. So I do understand that, but the handball rules already changed once this season. They're going to change the substitution rules in January as well. It just seems they should probably get all the rule changes done in between seasons.
No, I think with the concussion rule, if they were going to 5 substitutions, then I think yes, do that, in between seasons in the summer. But I think with permanent concussion substitutions, I think just get that in as soon as possible, because it is important.
I do understand that. It's just with the rules changing all the time in the Premier League, it's just a bit strange. I'm not saying I disagree with them changing in January.
Yeah, I understand that. I just think this is a lot more serious, and I feel so just implement it as soon as possible, really, because player safety is the most important thing, and head injuries need to be assessed properly. We've seen it so many times where a player gets a head injury, the down for a little while, the physio holds a few fingers up and says, "Oh, how many fingers am I holding up? they'll say the number and be like, all right, you're not concussed, you can play on. Despite them having a nasty clash of heads.
You're going to say.
But, we saw it a few weeks ago. We saw it a few weeks ago. Raul Jimenez and David Luiz had a nasty clash of heads. Raul Jimenez got a surgery on a fractured skull while David Luiz just played on in the game. And I was just thinking, like, how can one guy get a fractured skull and then the next guy not even, get concussed and he's able to play on? That doesn't make sense to me. So I think any head injuries need to be assessed properly. In rugby, if you get a head injury, you go off for 10 minutes and get assessed properly. Whereas in football, they're down for, a couple of minutes and then they get back up. And if they can walk straight, then they're fine. I feel as though it's not being looked at properly. And I feel as though this is a step in the right direction. Get concussions treated properly and looked at. If a player, gets head injury, is bleeding a lot or, is concussed, as I say, they need to be taken off. And I feel as though this is definitely a good rule that needs to be put in place.
It just seems like they could have done it last summer, though. It's not like this is a new problem.
Yeah.
I don't want to come across like I'm, in favour of people getting head injuries and staying on the pitch, because I'm absolutely not. I'm just saying that they could have changed the rule in the summer last summer, because they've been aware of it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this rule could have been put in place years ago. It's been a problem for many years, and it's great that they're finally getting around to introducing this rule. I think it's very very good to introduce this rule, 100%. It is also worth noting that the number of top flight players allowed to be on the bench now has increased from 7 to 9, and that comes into effect this weekend, which will be interesting. Of course, when
news for Helder Costa.
Yeah, he's finally going to get the bench again. But no, yeah, it's great that they voted against 5 subs, but it's great that they're introducing the permanent concussion substitutions rule. Hopefully concussions will be taken a lot more seriously now. Well, moving on. In other news, Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool manager, has won the FIFA Men's Coach of the Year award at this year's Best Awards, beating Bayern Munich manager Hansi Flick and Marcelo Bielsa to the awards. Back-to-back awards now for Jurgen Klopp, the first ever manager to do that. So, of course, big congratulations to him and well done to him. Now, Charles, despite Bielsa not winning the award, to even just be nominated and be named as one of the 3 finalists, essentially meaning that he's one of the top 3 coaches in world football, it's a well-earned achievement in itself, isn't it? Yeah,
it's great stuff. Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't have any complaints about either Klopp or Flick winning it. I think the fact that Flick didn't win it, given he basically won everything it was possible to win, is a bit strange that Jurgen Klopp wouldn't. I think even Klopp even pointed that out in his speech. He was like, he was surprised to win. I was surprised he won it, to be honest.
Yeah, so was I.
But yeah, it was great to see the manager of Leeds United in a final of a Best Coach in the World award. If someone had told you that a few years ago, you'd have laughed in their face, and rightly so.
It really is. Yeah, it really is amazing.
But it's great to see him being recognised. I think that's the most, because you feel like sometimes as a Leeds fan, we kind of see the poetry and the kind of the beauty of Bielsa and the football he creates and the culture he creates at the club, and everyone else kinds of completely misinterprets it or doesn't understand. And you get a lot of these interactions on Twitter and online where people just don't get it. These people are going out, well, he'd be if he was offered the right money, he'd go straight to a big club. It's like, he wouldn't. And you don't these people that know nothing about the type of manager he is and the type of person he is, it's just sometimes you feel like other people kind of miss the magic, whereas having him recognised like this is a good example of seeing that other people do appreciate what he's done for the club as well.
Yeah 100%. I mean, of course he got recognised by winning the FIFA Fair Play award last year. He's already won one award from FIFA.
That was for a singular incident, though. That wasn't like a general coaching award. That was just a very, very strange set of circumstances.
But no, as you say, for him just to finally be recognised, as being one of the best coaches for the job he's done at Leeds, it's great for that to finally happen. As we said in the last episode, Bielsa does deserve to be named amongst the best coaches in world football, for the incredible job he's done at Leeds United. As I said last week in the last episode, taking a team that finished 13th in the Championship to playoff semi-finalist the following season, to then winning the Championship by 10 points, returning Leeds United to the top flight for the first time in 16 years. He's changed the whole club, the whole city. He's done a marvellous job, and definitely does deserve to be recognised for all of his efforts at Leeds United. Really, really does. And yes, it's great to see him be named amongst the likes of Jurgen Klopp. It's still unbelievable. Still can't believe it got Bielsa, and the fact that he's named amongst these greats. It's really unbelievable. And by the way, Bielsa has now been at Leeds United longer than he's been at any club in his managerial career. 114 games managed at Leeds United now, which is insane. It's awesome.
It is good. It's it's nice to be the Bielsa club, because that's what we are now, aren't we? As his longest serving club he's been at. Yeah, we are the Bielsa club. Sorry, Newell's and Bilbao. I'm sure the Newell's fans won't particularly hate that comment, but I mean, obviously he's got a lot of love for Newell's, but I think he's, as he was saying in his post-match interview, or pre or post-match, it's he's very comfortable and happy here, and I hope he stays for many more years to come.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
I hope we're bringing him out as like a proper old pensioner, and he's still managing us.
I hope he retires in Leeds.
Yeah, I do as well, to be honest. I think it would hurt more if he left and managed somebody else. If he just left and retired, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, I just want Bielsa to be here forever and ever.
If he left and managed an international side, I don't think I'd mind that either. If he went to go like manage a country, that'd be all right.
Yeah, but if we went to another English side, then I'd absolutely hate that. But hopefully Bielsa's at least forever and ever and ever. But no, it's great that he's even nominated for awards like this. It's really unbelievable. And finally, the City of Leeds will be remaining in a Tier 3 lockdown for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. So no Leeds United fans will be returning to Elland Road anytime soon, unfortunately. Well, let's now have a look ahead to Leeds United's next game, which sees them take on Manchester United away at Old Trafford this Sunday. The game kicks off at 4:30 p.m. Live on Sky Sports. It's the War of the Roses in the Premier League for the first time in over 16 years. Are you looking forward to this?
I am actually, weirdly. It's been a game that's been a long time coming, and I think if we can go out there and put on a really good performance, I think it'll be a huge morale booster for the rest of the season. I think it'll really get us back on. Newcastle game kind of put us back on track, but I think if we get any kind of result from it, a positive result, then I think we can crack on and get a few more points. I think it'll give us a big boost. I think it'll give the fans a big boost. Yeah, and I think it'll make the whole Tier 3 thing a bit more bearable. Certainly. Yeah. So I am actually looking forward to this one.
Yeah. So am I. I'm really looking forward to this. Just to see us go up against Scum. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to this. I am also nervous as well though, because Scum do have some good players, particularly going forward with the likes of Marcus Rashford, who's got 5 goals this season, Bruno Fernandes, who's on 7 goals this season, Martial, Greenwood, Cavani, Pogba, just to name a few. Some good attackers coming up against, Liam Cooper. Our defense is going to have to be on the top of their game. It's going to be a tough job for them, isn't it?
It's going to be a tough afternoon. I hope they're up to it. I really do. And I hope we can just be solid enough and take our chances when they arrive. Because we know we're going to get chances. It's inevitable with the system we play. So I think we just have to be calm, and ready to take our chances when they come along and try and keep as solid as possible and not concede a crap corner to Harry Maguire. That would certainly put a dampener on the afternoon. Yeah,
that certainly crossed my mind. Harry Maguire at set pieces. He's really good at set pieces, Harry Maguire. He's very tall, very big. So, I'm kind of nervous about that side. But I think going forward against the Manchester United defenders, I think we'll have a lot of joy, to be honest. I think Manchester United's defenders will find it tough against Rafinha, Rodrigo, Harrison and Bamford running at them. I think we could have a field day against Harry Maguire and Lindelof, personally. David De Gea, though, the goalkeeper, is likely to return and replace Dean Henderson in goal, unfortunately. David De Gea is, a very good goalkeeper, but No, I think we could have a lot of joy going forward.
Yeah, potentially. We'll just have to keep it, fast moving, accurate passing. I think we can definitely hurt them because there's a lot of issues with them defensively, and there has been for a couple of seasons now. They seem to, even though they've got really expensive defenders, they just seem to still be making poor mistakes a lot of the time and unnecessary poor mistakes, which I'm really hoping we can take advantage of.
Yeah, hopefully. It's certainly an interesting game. It's going to be very, very exciting. And yeah, I really am looking forward to it. Scum do go into the game in good form, though, after their 3-2 win away at Sheffield United on Thursday night. They're undefeated in 6 league games, just a 1 loss in 9 league games. With draws coming against Manchester City and Chelsea. Despite a rocky start to the season, Scum are 6th on 23 points. Overall, they've played 12 this season, won 7, drawn 2 and lost 3. They're 1 point off the top 4, so Ole's side will have one eye on the top 4, I'm sure. There's a lot to play for in this game, isn't there, Charles? A lot to play for Manchester United and Leeds, and especially because it's a big rivalry, bragging rights on the line. There's plenty to play for, isn't there, on Sunday?
Yeah, well, it's not just that, but we need to, solidify our position in mid-table. We want to be kind of 10th, 11th, 12th, not 14th, 15th, 16th. So we need to be picking up points wherever we can. I know it's a big occasion. I know it's the rivalry, and it's the first game against them in a long time. But they need it for top 4, and we need it for just security. If we're to win it, we're halfway there, aren't we? We're halfway to Premier League. Get pretty much guaranteed survival. Nearly everybody survives on 40 points in the Premier League. So that's our aim, and we've got to go into it like that. We need the points, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be great to build on that Newcastle win, won't it? And keep momentum building, keep the confidence high. Especially heading into this busy festive period. Now moving on to Marcelo Bielsa's pre-match press conference this week, he revealed that there is no new injuries again, which is fantastic. Bielsa, however, did politely decline to give any team news. But are you expecting it to be unchanged here?
Yeah, I am.
Nice and simple. Nice and simple answer. Yes.
well, yeah, I am. I'm just hoping that the likes of Martial and Pogba and Marcus Rashford don't expose us, in a bit of a makeshift defence as much as I suspect they may do. Bruno Fernandes as well. We know what he's like with his incessant diving. And he's a decent footballer as well, but the incessant diving is what you remember. It's like Jack Grealish. He's not going to be remembered as a great footballer. He's going to be remembered as a cheat.
I know the penalties he wins. All the penalties he wins for Scum. By the way, the referee for this weekend's game is Anthony Taylor, who's from
Altrincham, yeah, which is in Manchester.
How dodgy is that? How dodgy is that?
People say, "Oh yeah, but he's not a Scum fan." It's like, he's still from Manchester. People from Manchester don't like people from Leeds.
Salford fans and United Manchester fans and Altrincham fans, they'll be thinking, all right, Manchester United do Lancashire proud here, So
even the likes of Bolton and Blackburn both dislike Leeds because of the whole Rose's context, but it's just not great.
Yeah. But anyway, and Anthony Taylor, I don't think he's a great manager. Great referee, rather. But yeah, I'm expecting it to be unchanged as well. 5-2 victory. Yeah, there's no need to change a winning formula, especially after such a convincing victory. There's no need to change anything at all. Bielsa was also saying in his press conference that he understands the importance of the rivalry to the fans, and he was also saying that he treasures the memories of winning 3-2 at Old Trafford with Athletic Bilbao in the Europa League in 2012, with 8,000 away fans there. And I was there on a school trip, and I remember that game really, really well. It was a Bielsa masterclass. Completely outplayed Manchester United on the pitch. So yeah, Bielsa already knows what it's like to win at Old Trafford. Can he replicate that this weekend, do you think?
He'll be in glorified company with Simon Grayson if he manages that feat. Yeah, I think it's possible. Are you asking me for a prediction now, or are you just asking me for your thoughts on it?
Yeah, go for it. Score prediction.
Oh, I think it's going to be a high-scoring draw. I think it'll be I'm going to go 3-3. I'm going to go for a scintillating draw. Proper back and forth.
I like it. I mean, going in, Leeds United have a dreadful record against Manchester United. We've only won 26 against them, drawn 35 and lost a whopping 46. Leeds United's last league victory at Old Trafford was on the 28th of February, 1981. So many years ago. We won that game 1-0. Of course, our last visit to Old Trafford there was, of course, January 3rd, 2010. We all remember that FA Cup third round, 1-0 win, Jermaine Beckford scoring there. But yeah, I mean, I think, a win is certainly not impossible here, but I would take a point. I'd take a point here right now. 100%. And I think it's going to be high scoring as well. We're not too great at defending. Manchester United aren't great at defending, but we're great attacking. 5 goals midweek. Manchester United have some exciting forwards as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of goals, and I think high scoring draw as well. I'm going to go 4-4, back and forth, exciting. I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
That would definitely be first on match of the day. That.
Yeah, very much so. But I'm looking forward to this.
Actually, it'll be on match of the day too because it's on a Sunday. Jesus, we'll have Martin Keown and Jermaine Genius commenting on it. I might not even watch it, to be honest. I don't like match of the day too.
I do like Mark Chapman, though, who presents Match of the Day too. I do quite like him. I prefer him over Gary Lineker, I must say.
I know, but the pundits they get on Match of the Day too are always worse. Always. Yeah. Danny Murphy as well. Jesus. Yeah,
it is kind of just, like Gillette Soccer Saturday on Sky Sports. You've got the main guys on the Saturday, and then midweek, they roll out, the changes. It's like in football, you start your strongest 11 in the league, you come up against a team like Hull in the league, and you rotate your squad. Yeah, it's exactly like that. But I think it's going to be high scoring, and I take a point. It's certainly an interesting game. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully Leeds United can pick up something on Sunday. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 81 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, Charles, for joining me remotely, of course.
Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it, mate. Hope you have a good weekend. And thank you as well to everyone who was listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe or follow the podcast on whatever platform you are currently on. If you did enjoy it, of course. If you didn't enjoy it, then you don't have to listen again. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to give us a 5-star rating. That'd be very much appreciated. And share the podcast around as well. It really does help us out. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Search for All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search for All Things Leeds on Facebook and on YouTube. Give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. We really do appreciate the support. Charles and I will be back next week before Christmas. So until then, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.